Hey everybody, the Super Vader 400 here, Douglas Blair Roberts here, and it's time for another review. And this time, this is my review of Dragon Ball Evolution. This has to be my eighth or ninth review of this film. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube on the Super Vader 400 account, there will be links to my previous reviews. This is one of my all-time favorite films, and I love doing multiple reviews of films that I like until I get the review that I want, because there's a certain type of review. There's a certain type of reviews for Dragon Ball Evolution that I wanted to do. Some of them I've already done. There is one I haven't done. I will be doing that next. I will be doing that next time. Next time I talk about Dragon Ball Evolution individually. But yeah, this is the latest review, and this is the first Dragon Ball Evolution review with this brand new video style, with me talking off camera. Then I will make my grand entrance and finish the rest of the review in narration audio form. So, and by the way, I really wanted to use Amayuki Sasaki. I can't remember her name, but the woman who sings the song "Rule" for the Dragon Ball Evolution film. I really wanted to use her song. However, I'm not sure if that song has a copyright on it. So instead, I used the Sonic song, and I used the English version, and I'm going to use the English version of Het Chala. And as much as I love Brian Tyler's soundtrack for Dragon Ball Evolution, when it comes to soundtracks, the Ocean dub and some of Toei's movie and GT tracks have Dragon Ball Evolution beat in that department. So you'll see a lot of their songs in future Dragon Ball Evolution reviews and related videos. With that being said, let's get started right now. Slide down rainbows in the sky, let's glide away. Like a bird, you're free to see the dark space of the earth. Let the wind blow you like a kite and glide away. Far beyond the clouds you'll find a better place. If the road ahead you see so cold and gray, when night never turns to day, don't you be afraid to fly away. Shala, hey shala, no time to hesitate, go on. she know. We're headed for the magic surprise. Oh, tra-la, cha-cha-la. Be cool, don't be afraid, you got the power. So take me through the dark, oh night. Cha-cha-la. Hey everybody, long time no see. It's time for my long awaited, long overdue part 2 portion of my full-length Dragon Ball Evolution movie and video game tie-in review. Before I get to the review portion of this video, there will be a couple of changes to this video. In the part 1 portion of this video, as you can see, it's my old place where I used to stay. Yeah, I would have finished this video earlier this year, but my cable and internet went out, and I did several other videos and several other projects in between then. Number 2. And number 2, the second number 2 was the intro theme I used. I used the Filipino version of Het Chala, of the theme song Het Chala. That's a good intro theme, but that's a terrible outro theme. So when I finish this video, the outro theme will be another Sonic based theme. Next was at the time I did this video right here, at the part 1 portion of this video, the webcam portion of this video, when I was on Wiki, I did not check any of the Wikipedia pages for Dragon Ball Evolution, so I missed the announcement that when Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, they had also acquired the rights to the live-action Dragon Ball based movies. The live-action Dragon Ball based movies, and right there, so at the end of this film, I'm going to give my short thoughts on the future of the live-action Dragon Ball based films. That's something I'm adding. At first, it was just a movie and video game review. So yeah, with that being said, let's get started with this review. Gonna start off with why I like the movie, the story, the characters, drama, action, what I didn't like about the film, and other stuff I liked about the movie. And then I'm going to move over to the game. Then I'm going to give my short thoughts on the future of the live-action Dragon Ball film franchise. And with that being said, like I said, Dragon Ball Evolution to this day is still one of my all-time favorite movies, and in my opinion, to this day, still one of the best and most underrated films around. I put it up there with the big budget Marvel and DCEU, which for me, those two film franchise rule the box office these days, man. Rule the box office these days. And there's several things I like better about Dragon Ball Evolution than those films. So yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution, in my opinion, one of the best and most exciting and most entertaining films around. From beginning to end, it's awesome. My favorite scenes in the movie are the Kamehameha wave beam struggle between power up and beam struggle between Goku and Piccolo at the end, followed by the chi blasts, the Goku and Piccolo chi blast battle that preceded it, then the Goku versus Gohan, Roshi, and short-lived my fight, followed by the dual Chi fights and the training sequences, which set up the two cool Goku versus Piccolo Chi Blast battles at the end, followed by every other scene in this film from beginning to end. Never a dull moment in this movie right here. I only have a couple of problems with this film, which if you've watched all of my Dragon Ball Evolution reviews, you know, and by the way, those will be in the description box below if I didn't say that in part 1. You would know the flaws of this film, but like I said, I don't have to give the history. First heard about this film in 2002 after years and years of fake rumors, news,
and trailers finally. It was announced in 2007 that 20th Century Fox will be producing a live action Dragon Ball film titled just Dragon Ball that will be released in 2008. They later pushed it back in 2009 and also added the title Dragon Ball Evolution because they announced that there will be several changes to the source material. My excitement immediately turned to disappointment when I saw the casting choices for Mai, Bulma, Chi Chi, which meant if Mai was in the film, Pilaf and Shu, they were not too far behind. When I heard they were going to be adapting Dragon Ball, I expected a Dragon Ball Z film. Saiyan, Namek, Frieza, Android, and Cell based sagas. Hell, even Majin Buu. Hated Majin Buu, but at least with the Majin Buu saga, a live action remake and adaptation of that, doing each of everything I saw in doing everything in the Majin Buu saga in live action would be awesome. Would be awesome. So even that would be awesome. Much better than any Dragon Ball saga unless it's Piccolo. Well then I got my wish because the next my disappointment would turn to excitement as soon as I heard the news that James Monsters would be portraying Piccolo in the film. At first it was supposed to be Ron Perlman, but he dropped out to do Hellboy 2: The Golden Army. So out of film, then I later saw leaked shots of Roshi, Grandpa Gohan, Bulma, Chi-Chi, and Goku and Piccolo and Mai. And I was like, and then later saw the first shot of the Ozaru. I was like, okay, the film doesn't look good, but it looks entertaining. And this is before my taste in movies improved. This is before I saw Thor 2011, Green Lantern 2011, and of course the box office smash hit spectacle of 2012, The Avengers, where this is before my taste in films improved. As long as it had some good action, it was entertaining, it was a good film. It was a good film for me. Now, you got to do more than that. You got to do more than that. Actually, you got to make something just like Dragon Ball Evolution, Marvel, and DC. If it's not those things, it completely sucks ass to me. So, yeah, let's continue. So, yeah, then I started becoming more excited. And finally, in 2009, when I saw this film, man, from beginning to end, I was excited. This film was so awesome. I wanted to see it again, but I had to save money for the other films that came out that year. So yeah, and then when this film came out on DVD, I was one of the very first people to purchase this film on DVD. I've been watching it like crazy, DVD and online. Which, believe it or not, it's funny. I hated to this day, still do hate it people for pirating and watching leaked versions of this online. The online version of this film is actually better than the DVD. I don't have to when the film ends. I don't have to sit through the credit portion, the short-lived credit portion before they show the Piccolo alive reveal scene. It goes straight to that scene when it's over. Then goes to the black credit scene with Ama Yazuki's Rule song playing in the background. So the leaked version, you hated everyone for doing that. It was actually better than the DVD portion. But I watch both, and both of them will be reviewed in video form much later in the future as soon as I find a place to upload them. But back to this narration review right here. So yeah, and see right here, this portion of the video, this is where you actually have to respect Dragon Ball fans and especially haters of this film. It comes down, when it comes to Dragon Ball Evolution, it comes down to what you like and what I don't like. And what I do not like, which is the original Dragon Ball series, especially anything made by Akira Toriyama. I do not like what I like to call fakery and BS. Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Evolution are two totally different things. Dragon Ball Evolution is a science fiction martial arts superhero action adventure based movie. Whereas the original Dragon Ball series is a comedy comedy adventure manga with action adventure in it. And that is why I do not like the original Dragon Ball series. First of all, I like heroes. I like champions. I do not like a-holes which is what Dragon Ball is. I do not like people who misuse sacred power. And I can see in Dragon Ball because they were kids, but it continues well up until Z and still goes on in Super. I do not like continuous misuse of sacred power. With great power, this is every series. It's quoted in Spider Man, but it's in every series. With great power comes great responsibility. Responsibility. In the original Dragon Ball series, with great power comes great a-holery and douchebaggery. So that's one of the biggest differences between the two. Between the two. Going back to the fakery and BS. Most of the plot most of the some of the biggest problems I have with the original Dragon Ball were the Zenkai boost, and before that, the off-screen training. You have various characters being weak in one arc, showing up with new skills and power in the next arc, and there will be little to no explanation on why that happened. That is one problem, and that still goes on today in Dragon Ball. In the entire Dragon Ball franchise, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Super. That is one thing I do not like about Dragon Ball. In Dragon Ball Evolution, mostly everything is explained or at least hinted at. At least hinted at. They show you everything. The cool key blast moments at the end, they were set up earlier. They were set up much earlier in the film, and that's what I want to see, especially in martial arts. It doesn't matter if you're comedy, so don't come at me with that comedy BS. But yeah, so that's the main reason why I like this film. And this film, Dragon Ball Evolution, is more similar to what I like and less similar to what I don't like. It's more similar to the Marvel and DC cinematic universe. It's the DC cinematic universe before DCEU was even a thing. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has this film by 1 year with Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk, 2008. It's also similar to the 1995 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movies with elements of the Star Wars and Matrix based franchise, like I said. And of course, I don't think these were intentional. Also vastly similar to the Mortal Kombat movies from the 90s, Naruto, Bleach, and Avatar: The Last Airbender. But I don't think those last four I just named were intentional. But it's more similar to what I like and less similar to Dragon Ball, especially Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball. Trash. So, what's his name? It all comes down to what you like and don't like. This is the only time you actually have to see it from a hater, from a Dragon Ball Evolution hater and Dragon Ball fanboy's opinion of this movie. I like to be a total a-hole and bully towards the Dragon Ball Evolution haters. Like I said in previous videos, I've removed and broke off a lot of friendship because of this movie and many more because of people's opinions on this film. But this is the only time you actually have to respect people's opinion. So yeah, that was Dragon Ball. That was what I like about Dragon Ball. Like I said, I love the various improvements to the characters of the film. The three first. Let's start with my favorite character, Goku. Love how they totally redid and modernized Goku. At first, the high school thing I thought was completely stupid until I actually watched the film and loved how realistic that was. The only difference between Goku here and Goku in the show is that Goku in this film wanted to fit in with everyone else. Goku in the show would not have cared. But I like how the bullies, if you do nothing but fight, and have powers and can do all the stuff, people would not like you. People are that mean in real life. Especially if you're not book smart. Either which he showed which he showed slight ignorance in the film of how they completely was they then you can beat up. One of the parts I thought that was completely stupid that I just had to see was the bully scene, and I was like, wait, how does Goku have bullies? It would be it would be the other way around. Goku would be more of a bully than anyone, but no, it's they provoke you and you can beat them up, but you're told by someone else to be mature and not beat them up. And not beat them up. Like in Spider Man. Like in Spider Man and the X-Men series. And it's not, okay, it probably is ripping off those, but it's not so much ripping off those, is because those is what it actually is in Dragon Ball. Toriyama's trash is what it is not. What it is not. I hate how, yeah. So, yeah, making Goku more modernized and more realistic. Next, Bulma. Improving on Bulma and Chi Chi. Bulma and Chi Chi. Bulma and Chi Chi going into this film were two of the things I hated the most about this film. After watching this film, they're two of my favorite things about this film, and Emi Razum and Jamie Chung's Chi Chi are my favorite incarnation of these characters. Of these characters, and some of my all-time favorite characters in the Dragon Ball franchise, bar none. Bar none. What you call it? Period. Period. Cell, Brawly, the entire GT and Evolution cast are my all-time favorite characters. Honorable mentions, which will be characters from the original Dragon Ball series, Toriyama's crappy Dragon Ball series. My favorites are Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, Jiren, Hit Kaba, Pycon, the Warriors of the Dead, and all the villains of the series. So yeah, those are my all-time favorite characters, which I'll be doing a list about that in the near future. But let's continue with this film series right here. This film right here. So yeah, Bulma, while for the most part being not too different from how she was in the series, they made several changes. First off, they got rid of what I saw as all of the negative stereotypes associated with her characters. The arrogance, the arrogance is still there. The neediness and the neediness, they got rid of that. She's same character, but she's more rougher, tougher, stronger, and much more independent. I like that right there. I like that right there. And I like how despite this new personality, which I think they combined her and the character Mai, and not Mai, but what's her name? Launch together to fuse them into one being. I like how despite this new personality and being more stronger and independent in this film, I like how she still had to be saved by Yamcha in the final battle with Mai, where she easily got beat up by Mai, who Goku and Chi Chi technically defeated twice, and had to be saved by Yamcha, who's much weaker than her in this film. Next is Chi Chi. Chi Chi, one of the worst characters in Dragon Ball. I've never been impressed by anything Chi Chi has done. Here in this film, I was on Dragon Ball Wiki. They best compared her personality to Videl, who Chi Chi went through the most changes in this film. Instead of being the violent Chinese woman stereotype she is in the series, Here she's a nicer, more easier going tomboy, which I like. She's like I said, she's more similar to Videl from the Buu saga. Here, I like how she's a rival to Goku. She knows more about chi and stuff than he does. She than he does. She has his fighting passion here, and secondly, she beat Mai twice and withstood an assault from Goku, and even people who didn't like this film praise what they did for Chi Chi and Bulma in this film. Well, that was one of the main things people actually liked about this film, and for people who did like, they liked this stuff, and people who didn't like it, they at least enjoyed this stuff right here. So yeah, love the improvements to those characters right there. Two of the characters who I hated being in this movie, are now some of my all-time favorite characters in in the Dragon Ball franchise. Next was Yamcha. Yamcha. Believe it or not, Yamcha. I like Yamcha much better here than I like him in the series. While he was given much more exciting battles, martial arts style battles in the series. In the series, all he does is be irrelevant to the plot and be cannon fodder for villains and just get his butt kicked. And that gets annoying episode after episode, chapter after chapter, saga after saga of seeing him get owned. I like how in this film series, despite being much weaker than his manga and anime based counterpart, he was much more useful. He was much more useful here than he was in the entire series. First, he robs the characters and joins them to get one half of the profits of the of Bulma's Dragon Balls. Next, he used his tools to navigate under. They used his tools to navigate underground. Then he helped Chi Chi and he helped Chi Chi and Goku. He helped Bulma and Goku chase Mai, who was disguised as Chi Chi and Goku, and before. Then later in the final battle, he drove the Dragon Jet. He drove the cool Jeep, which turned into an airplane, which turned into a jet to the Dragon Temple for the final battle. Then his best moment, the superheroic moment where he sacrificed himself by telling Bulma to run while he tries to hold off the Ozaru and got quickly knocked out. Yamcha in the show with his power would have been owned by the Ozaru. Then later woke up and shot and killed Mai in the back, saving Bulma. It's way more awesome, in my opinion, anything he's done in the series. In my opinion, Yamcha's best moment in the series was him in the Android Saga, recognizing how useless he was, in an act of realism in the show and intelligence. The only one with intelligence recognized how useless he was and carried Goku off the battlefield to Kame House, where everyone else foolishly challenged and fought the androids and nearly lost their lives. Like I said, followed by his fight with bandages and Kami. Those were my opinion, Yamcha's best moments in the actual canon series of Dragon Ball. So yes, I like Yamcha much better here, despite how weaker he was. Next was my man Roshi. I used to argue with this 10 years ago with people who would criticize Roshi's character in this film. Roshi, love the changes they made to his character. With the biggest change I liked to his character, besides his design, was one thing I couldn't stand about Roshi in the series was his signature, him being a pervert. Now it's not so much him being a pervert, it's him being a pervert and being a martial arts master and having no shame. If he was just an old man, a regular old man, and not a martial arts master and champion, I would accept that. I would accept that him being a pervert and having no shame, but not a martial arts master who are supposed to be honorable, who are supposed to be quote unquote honorable. I will never accept that. In this film, he's still a pervert, but you can definitely show that he has honor and is ashamed of it. That's one improvement I like. In this film series, they made Goku more of a pervert than Roshi was, and I like that change. Like I said, with Goku, that's a kid. Yeah, if it was a kid, yeah, but an old man, I will never accept that. That's crock. That's trash. That's trash. More Toriyama garbage, man. So yeah. What else about this film series right here? What else about this film? So what else? So yeah, man, yeah, and so yeah, yeah. The next was the Dragon Ball plot itself. I hated how in the show, everyone had selfish wishes and just immediately went to look for the Dragon Balls. Bulma, Goku, and tricked Goku into going on a quest with her, and Goku foolishly agrees with it, not understanding that he has to give up his 4-star ball if Bulma wish, and it just starts in Bulma, and everyone in Dragon Ball knows about the Dragon Balls. In the original series, Bulma and everyone else knows about Dragon Balls, but the fantastic and fantasy-based creatures in Dragon Ball, Goku and Teen, in their first appearances, do not know what Dragon Balls are. In Dragon Ball Evolution, only Goku, Roshi, Gohan, and the Temple people, the Mystics, know what Dragon Balls are. I hate how everyday people know what Dragon Balls are. Know what Dragon Balls are. Bulma was only studying the one she had, and maybe suspected there might be others, but didn't know about the dragons and all that power. And Goku told her about it in Dragon Ball in this movie right here. Whereas in the series, Bulma tells him about the Dragon Ball's power and stuff. I didn't like that. I love that change. Love that change right there, and love how they had to look for the Dragon Balls. One of the, like I said, this was one of the biggest differences between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball is some lame comedy adventure gag manga with action adventure and fighting in it. Whereas Dragon Ball Evolution is some science fiction martial arts action adventure based superhero superhero film. Here they had to look for the Dragon Balls. And I like how they all had lives before the whole talk about looking for the Dragon Balls came came in and they each had to get their wish before Piccolo got his wish before the eclipse and his monster came, or therefore you lose. So um I like that. So these were things I liked about the Dragon Ball, and like I said, I loved how the realistic explanation for the key blasts, the fighting stuff versus the unrealism of its manga and anime counterpart. So yeah, let's get on with the story of this film. The story of this film, like I said, thousands of years ago, Piccolo and the Ozaru appeared on Earth and began attacking and killing everyone in sight, killing everyone in sight. Seven mystics banded together to create the Mafuba to seal Piccolo and his dark power away. Um, and the Ozaru mysteriously vanished. Somehow, in the present, Piccolo has somehow escaped and has begun searching for the Dragon Balls. It's after killing Grandpa Gohan. It's now up to Goku, Bulma, Roshi, and Yamcha to find the seven Dragon Balls before Piccolo can find the seven Dragon Balls and make his great wish before the eclipse and his monster, his disciple, the Ozaru, returns. The Ozaru returns. So it's a race against time where Goku and the gang have to find the Dragon Balls and make one wish before Piccolo can find the Dragon Balls before the eclipse. And Piccolo finds the Dragon Balls, and the Ozaru comes out. And the Ozaru comes out, and the Ozaru comes out, and they pretty much lose. So yeah, I love this new race against time plot for Dragon Ball, and loved everything. Piccolo being able to control Ozarus, being able to control Ozarus just like the Shinobi in Naruto, being able to control demons, Goku not only acknowledging that he's Ozaru, but using his power to defeat Piccolo in the end and stuff. So yeah, like I said earlier, favorite scenes were the Kamehameha wave beam struggle between Goku and Piccolo at the end, the Key Blast battle between the two, which preceded that scene right there, followed by the Key Blast training scenes and Goku's fights with Roshi, Grandpa Gohan, and Mai in the lava place, followed by the dual Chi-Chi's fights. Those are my all-time favorite scenes, followed by every other scene. You also had other cool scenes, like the memorable party scene, which a lot of people, even people who hated it, agree that this was the best scene. There's even a cool Ultra Instinct. The only thing I like about Ultra Instinct is the cool meme associated with it, where Goku is fighting the bullies at the party. Everyone likes that scene. Even people who didn't like this movie like that scene right there. Yeah, that was a badass scene too. So yeah, the Fulham Warriors, and then I love the Ozaru reveal. In the leak shots, they show this fish monster, this fish gargoyle looking monster. Then in the but when the film released, it was it was a miniature Ozaru. It was a miniature version of the show. That whole what I like to call that whole moment, the speech and Goku transforming, awesome, superb, some of the best ever. I even like quoting that awesome stuff. I even like quoting that dialogue. I don't feel like doing it in this video right here, but I love quoting the dialogue in that awesome scene. And then the my one of my all-time favorite quotes. The first rule is there are no rules. Scene right before the final battle begins, and that's also the first scene in the intro of the films. And I love how each character is introduced in this film. So yes, one of the greatest films of all time. One of the greatest films of all time. One of the greatest films of all time. And I love how they use the realistic martial arts battle to build up to the climatic CGI fight at the end. CGI fight at the end. So yeah, film was awesome, man. Film was awesome. Yeah, what else? So yes, now what I didn't like about this film. What I didn't like about this film, pretty much everything in the film itself for the most part was awesome. What I didn't like about this film was every creative decision made behind the scenes. The first problem I have with this film is not making the story. This is the biggest problem. The biggest problem why they didn't succeed and make the grade when they were out back in 2009 is not so much not following the source material, it's not making the story accessible to newer viewers of the show. Then people who have seen the show will hate it for being different from what they grew up with. From what they grew up with. This series, this film, they said they wanted to get new people into Dragon Ball, but this movie right here, everything in it appeals to people who've already seen Dragon Ball. So if a person didn't watch Dragon Ball, they would be lost and would probably think this film was one of the most bizarre and one of the worst films that they've seen. Come to think of it, yeah, I don't bother them as much. The people who don't like Dragon Ball and saw and hate this movie, like the critics, you don't bother them as much as I bother uh, the biased and annoying Dragon Ball fans. Yeah, that's the first problem I had. First problem I had. Second problem I had was a couple of minor inconsistencies. Not really making it clear what Piccolo wanted to wish for. And another minor inconsistency was at the end. I accepted this because this happens all the time in the show. The awesome epic prayer moment. They never show Goku learning that prayer, so they must have cut that scene from the movie. Which next is the scenes they cut from the movie. They cut a lot of stuff from this movie. In the when I was in the gag reel portion in the Justin Chatwin's film school where Justin Chatwin narrates and talks about his experience working on the movie. Justin Chatwin and James Monsters film more than a couple of punches, key blasts, and the Kamehameha wave at the end. They filmed way more than that. There was even leaked shots of Piccolo with a sword, and one cool scene of Goku flying towards Piccolo and Piccolo stopping him, force push, and knocking him into a wall, smashing his face into a wall. They cut a significant part of the fight. They cut a significant portion of their fight, and even James Monsters criticized them cutting their fight. So cutting out the scenes, then um the several extra scenes. Those extra scenes should have been in the movie, especially my favorite, the extended Fulham fight scene. That should have been in the film, and the followed by the key blast scene in the beginning, which explained even more about the key. The snack bar, I love the snack bar, but you could have done without that. The car scene, Also, I love that too. The when he picks up the car, that should have been left too. And there was even an extra scene where Goku and Bulma are talking to each other, and Goku, just like in the show, mocks Bulma's name. But they probably got rid of this scene because of how childish that dialogue was. It was funny because of how childish these two, Justin Chadwick and Emmy Rossum, these two serious actors having to say dialogue like that was how funny that scene was. But what else about this movie? Yeah, there's more. So yeah, so every creative decision made behind the scenes. So like I said, this film, I have a brand new rating system for awesome movies like Dragon Ball Evolution. On a scale from 1 to 11, I like to give this film a 9 and 10 out of 11, man. Out of 11. You have to take points off. You have to take points off for for their failure. But you got to add those points back for how awesome and entertaining this film is. My opinion, one of the best movies of all time. Love the cast, James Wong, and everyone involved, man. Everyone involved, man. So yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution, one of the greatest films of all time. Now let's talk about its video game. Video game. Dragon Ball Evolution, the game, which is widely considered one of the worst video games of all time. In my opinion, it's one of the best PlayStation portable games of all time. I have a couple of problems with this game. If they had released this game for major consoles, big time consoles, as it was, without adding anything like movie versions of Tien and all the other characters in the game, I would have hated this game. But since this game was a PSP game, was just meant for some quick action, I think this game is one of the best Dragon Ball games of all time, and it's one of the best PlayStation portable video games. The game is actually better than the movie. It gives us the same stuff as it gives us the same storyline as the movie, but more dialogue and more action and overall more story. Even an extra part of the story where Piccolo returns early as Neo Piccolo and fights Goku at the and attacks the Toisan temple, the temple Goku was at. Goku's that you gotta beat him again. Then I love the story mode where you encounter all the bullies, all the characters in story mode. Then one of the coolest fight scenes was the fight scene with the Ozaru where you human Goku fight Ozaru Goku inside human Goku's head for control of Goku's body. That was really cool. Love how creative that was. The game was actually better than the movie. Was actually better in my opinion than the movie. Then I like how while this is mostly just a copy paste of Shin Budokai, they at least made it true to the movie. None of the characters, with the exception of Piccolo, can fly. Roshi can levitate like he did in what's his name. Yamcha does not have his Wolf Fang fist. Instead, he has several street fighting chain combos where he uses a fire extinguisher and weapons and knives just lying around and stuff. Bulma has her gun. Bulma has her guns. Bulma has her guns. Chi Chi has her martial arts abilities. Roshi has all the techniques. Roshi and Gohan have all of the techniques they demonstrated in the movie. So I like how they at least made, while being a ripoff of Shin Budokai, at least remained true to the movie. Remained true to the movie. I like this better than Shin Budokai and consider it one of the best Dragon Ball games of all time, alongside Burst Limit and the brand new Fighter Z video game. So yeah, one of the best Dragon Ball games. One of the best Dragon Ball video games of all time. Is better than the movie. It gives us more of what I wanted from the movie. Then the voice acting cast. One of the main things I loved was Justin Chatwin sounds just like English dub Sasuke, man. And in this game, it is English dub. Sasuke, Yuri Loaha, I think that's his name. He is him. So yeah, Dragon Ball Evolution, the game. Dragon Ball Evolution, the video game. Dragon Ball Evolution, the video game, awesome. Now to give my short thoughts on the live-action Dragon Ball film franchise. Well, nothing has been said, but Disney does own the rights to any future live-action films. Firstly, I'm shocked that Disney has the rights now. I thought the rights expired a long time ago. So 20th Century Fox had the rights to Dragon Ball all this time. I didn't even know that, man. Secondly, was what else? What else about this? What else about this film series? And secondly, well, if they ever do, I'm pretty sure they won't continue from this. They'll definitely reboot. I want a continuation and sequel to this, but I'm pretty sure they'll definitely reboot. I don't care what the story is, as long as it has the characters, all of the characters this time, all of the characters this time, and has a good plot, a good script, and some good action. I really don't care. I really don't. I really don't care how accurate or how faithful it is. Just have the characters I want to see, the top tier characters, the action, the action, and just have a good script. That's all I care for with a Dragon Ball film. If it's crap, I'll skip it as always. I'll skip it as always. So yeah, I have little to no expectations for Dragon Ball. Other than that, you're better than the show. You're not terrible like Toriyama's Dragon Ball. So with that being said, I'm finished. This has been my franchise tie-in review of Dragon Ball Evolution, the movie and video game. So with that being said, I'm finished. If you don't want to hear the rest of the song, turn the video off right now.